Hello, everybody. This is Tanya, and this is my What to Do Wednesday, episode number 6. I am coming to you live from Southern California, which I am in Riverside, California. I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator. And today I am going to create this card here that you are seeing. And I have everything ready to go. So let me go down to my desktop and get started because I have a team meeting tonight and I am demonstrating. So let me zoom in a little. I just created this card momentarily ago, just a few minutes ago. Because I had nothing prepared. So I like doing gratitude cards during the fall, just to show my appreciation, not just to my customers, but but to everyone. I having a little bit of technical issues here. Okay. So we are using Cajun Craze as a card base and pumpkin pie colors here. Let me just grab all of the pieces. Okay. Alrighty. I've got everything cut. Just going to do a little stamping, little bit of die cutting. And I am going to be using the Softly Woven 3D embossing folder. It's a pretty big embossing folder. Let me scoot out just a smidge. And this is going live September 1st. This is the Painted Pumpkins. This is in the September through December catalog. So I am going to be using this stamp set. Thank you. And we're going to stamp this on the inside and do a little die cutting with that. So let me get some of the pieces out of the way, so then that way we could I could bring my stamping and cut emboss machine up here. So the paper I am using is from the Painted Patch Designer Series paper, and I'm using this pattern here just for a quick review. It's double-sided paper, so that's front and back. Side A, side B, which is looks like a pool party. Then these pumpkins you can cut out with the dies. Side B, side A, side B, side A, and side B. Really pretty. Love the color scheme. Okay, so let's see here. Actually, I'm going to need to just emboss these pieces here. So okay. So with the embossing, I'm going to use my plate number 1, which is the platform, and then my embossing folder. So I'm going, so there's a line at the bottom of the embossing folder. I like just to line my cardstock along that line to help me get it straight. As I run it through. And then I'm using plate number 4. Okay, that's it for right now. Okay, let's bring back my card base. My layer is 5 1/4 by 4. 5 1/4 by 4 is my pumpkin pie layer. This is a standard A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to glue down these textured side pieces here. Gonna line it up about 1/8 of an inch, top and bottom and side on both sides. Using liquid glue helps with this heavily textured pieces. These are these pieces are 1 inch by 5 inch. I got that on a little crooked. And then I am going to glue this piece down. This is 2 inch by 5. And I am only going to put glue on the sides here, pretty heavy, so it attaches well to this embossed piece. And then I'm going to center it. Here in the middle. Hello, ladies. Okay. So that's all we're going to do with that for now. And I'm going to bring this in. And I'm going to stamp my greeting and pumpkins with espresso, early espresso. Okay. And I have a 3/4 inch strip here that I will trim down. Gonna stamp thank you. Gonna line this up with my grid paper so I could try to get it straight. Okay. And then I am going to bring in Old Olive. And I am going, this is the inside piece to the card. And my sample I used Mossy Meadow, but it's a little too dark. And I got a little bit of ink on there from my finger. So I'm going to use Old Olive for this one. So I'm going to, this is the vines. And I'm going to go up the side and then down the bottom. So now I'm going to flip it, connect my vine, and just continue stamping it like the vine is just spreading. Like so. And that's it for the Mossy Meadow. And this I can go ahead and glue to the inside of my card. So I have a team meeting tonight, so I'm demonstrating a card with my team. So, and it starts at 7 Pacific time. So that's the inside of our card. Gives me plenty of space to write my message. Okay. Now, let's see. Set this aside. Now, this stamp set comes with stencils. Now, the stencils you could lay over your pumpkin, which I'm going to do tonight. but you can also just layer the pumpkins, and you don't need to stamp an image. Maybe I'll demonstrate what that will look like. And then, so it gives you the two different pumpkins. So the pumpkin stamp set comes in a cluster of 3 different pumpkins. So, so does the stencil. And then you get a bonus stencil of the ivy leaves that the pumpkins grow. But we're not using that tonight. So I am using pumpkin pie. I am using pool party. And I'm using crisp cantaloupe. Okay. So I'm taking, this is the cluster of pumpkins. So I'm just going to line it up over my pumpkin. Like so. Now there is a little divot in the stencil, so you can match up the next stencils a little easier. So I am drawing an outline like so on my grid paper, so it'll help me line up my next layers, and I'll show you. So I'm using, these are not, I got these off of Amazon, but these are just a smaller brush because it's a smaller area. So I'm going to start with pumpkin pie, and I'm just rubbing the brush on the ink pad. I'm going to tap off a little bit, and I'm going to do multiple layers of the same color. So the first layer I'm putting down is going to be light. So I'm just very light-handed, circular motion, laying down some color on the pumpkin. Just like so. I better move my pieces out before I away so I don't get ink all over them. The next one I'm going to do is pool party. Going to get some ink on there. Tap it off. Light-handed, I'm just going to go over in a circular motion and lay down some color, trying to avoid the other pumpkins. Obviously, it'd be a lot easier if you did the same colors, but I wanted my pumpkins to be different colors. You can always put a piece of Post-it tape over your pumpkin so you don't have to be so careful if you are alternating colors. This one is crisp cantaloupe. This one is an orange, but it has a pink hue to it. So then it colors it in. So I will just wipe this off by running it under the sink. The ink will wash off very easily. Now I'm going to go to stencil number 2. I'm going to line it up I moved my paper. It helps when you don't move your paper. I have repositional tape that I usually use, but I didn't put that down. So because I moved this piece of paper, so now I've got it lined up. Now I'm going to go over with the same colors. I'm going to use my pumpkin pie. Going to go over it again. Pool party. So my granddaughter left Texas today. She's in New Mexico. They're staying the night in New Mexico, and they will be home tomorrow. She found out that the car she picked up does not have air conditioning. So driving through Texas and New Mexico and Arizona was a little bit blustery. But they made it to their hotel room safely. Now, crisp cantaloupe. So that's number 2. Now number 3. Pumpkin pie. Still putting the same amount of pressure, but by layering the ink, you're going to get different tones. Now the pool party. And the crisp cantaloupe. And then the fourth stencil are the tops of the pumpkins, but these are stamped, so we don't need that one. Let me just close these inks up. So this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to get my machine back up here. And I'm going to cut them out. And I'm going to cut out some leaves at the same time. So I'm lining up the die to cut it out. Just like so. Put my plate on. This is the burn I got from last week's witch hat debacle. You don't have to go back, but I am just because I don't have the space in front of me to pull it out. So I cut out these little pumpkins. So these are the pumpkins. And then I'm putting 2 pieces of old olive and some of these leaves and vines. And that's it for that. So obviously the first layer cuts out the best, but you can get 2 layers of cardstock in one pass. Get my pokey Mr. Take Your Pick and pop these out. I usually throw them down on my counter. I do all my die cutting. My craft room is it next to the kitchen, because this is technically the family room that I use as my craft space. Okay, so this is done. So I use my kitchen counter for all my die cutting. All right. Now let's bring this back in. I already cut this with the scalloped, I don't know what they're called. Scalloped blooms. And I'm going to pop that up. So I like to put my focal point kind of like not completely centered. So I have it down to the right. And then I am going to glue down 2 of the pumpkins and pop up the smallest one. And I'm only putting glue in the center so I can position the leaves behind it. I was off a little bit on my die cutting, but it's because I wasn't standing above it. Now I'm popping up this smaller pumpkin and I'm putting it like so. And then I am going to glue my leaves down. Let's see. So I have one going behind. And then I have this one going behind this pumpkin, like so. I'm using one at the bottom of the sentiment, and this one will come out the side over here. Okay. Now I need a trim trim my greeting a little bit. Do that very good. Didn't have it straight. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut the end off there. I'm going to put dimensionals on the ends. And a little bit of glue here in the middle. And I'm going to go across the bottom, lining up the edge of the white where the Cajun Craze is. Just like so. Okay. Then I am going to put this little leaf coming out from below, like so. And then I'm going to take my little gems. I am using the in color dots. These are like pearlite, like they have a little iridescent pearl to them. This one I used only 2. So let's see, I want to put this big one down here. I used 2 big ones on this one, but just so I keep it even, I'm going to put a little one there. And I used the Calypso Coral color. Thank you. Now, Winkastella, you know, which I need to open up a new one. There's enough in here to add a little bit of shimmer. And I just put it on the pumpkin, the leaves. Because it's so light, but it just adds just the right amount of pizzazz. All right. Now, can't send a naked envelope. So I'm going to add a strip of the Designer Series paper across the back of my flap. If you're going to hand your card out, I think it would look pretty on the front, but more than likely I'll mail my card, and I don't need any reason for the post office not to deliver it. So I don't want to give them a reason by putting the strip of paper in the front. So that's the back. And that's the card. So I have a few minutes. I do too, Ray. I love it. I do have a few minutes where I could show you how to use the stencil without stamping. So this is the card. And then our inside. Okay. So I don't have my repositional tape. So I'm just going to use a little bit of the Stamp and Seal. And then, I don't know what I do with the other. Oh, here they are. So this one will need the fourth one. So they are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to use all the same color. However, well, no, you know, I'll do it the way. Okay, I'm just gonna line it up to the bottom of my paper. Okay, get my inks back out. Okay. So this is the first one. I'm going to use Timid Tiger. And I'm just brushing on a light coat layer. Okay. Pool Party, same thing. Calypso Coral. Or not Calypso Coral. Crisp Cantaloupe. Was a little too heavy-handed there. So that's number 1. Lining it up here. It's off just a hair for some reason. Okay. Pumpkin pie. Pool Party. Crisp Cantaloupe. That's number 2. Number 3, Pumpkin Pie. Pool Party. And Crisp Cantaloupe. And I need I'm going to close these up. I'm going to do the stems of the pumpkins with early espresso. Same thing, lining it up. You can kind of see where it goes. There are the painted pumpkins. So it almost looks like it's chalked. Came out really nice. And both of the stamped elements, or the stamped pumpkins, let me bring it back out. So that stencil is for this cluster of pumpkins and this cluster of pumpkins. Alrighty. So that's such a mess on my table. So again, this was the card. And there you have me. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining. Making this my first fall card this evening. And there's just a few days left of the sale of the cardstock and designer series paper. 15% off a selected paper. Some of it is sold out. Very Vanilla's one. But they do have the flocked paper that's been out of stock forever. This one here. The Velvet Meadow. So this is a very popular one. They have that back in stock and it is on sale. But September 1st is the new catalog. All right, everyone. Thanks again. Now I'm off to my meeting. Have a wonderful rest of the week and happy crafting. Bye.